Hi everybody, I hope you're having a great day. In this video, I'm going to be covering Outcast. Now, this is a very special and unique video for me because this is the first introduction of my upcoming comic book series. And the main protagonist, known as the Outcast, is who I'm covering here. Now, he will make his very first appearance in the self-titled Outcast, issue number 1, The Relic and the Rage, that will be released on September the 1st, 2025. His real name is Philip Samson, and he's the functionally immortal, supposed son of the biblical Samson and Delilah, who was outcasted at a young age due to his mixed heritage and strange abilities. Now, Philip stands 6 feet 7 inches tall and weighs 250 pounds, being an imposing Middle Eastern man that also has green eyes and long black dreadlocks. Delving into his personality, he's a bit brooding and isolated, not to mention cynical due to his long life and the losses he suffered over the millennia. He also constantly questions his purpose and the reason for his unending life. That being said, he is very morally grounded though, and possesses a very deep resolve to do good, which overall makes him fundamentally heroic, especially since he's driven to protect the innocent. Now, Outcast has a moderate base strength level, being able to easily lift around 20 tons, although this is variable. He also has a moderate level of enhanced superhuman durability, although he can be wounded by sufficient force or advanced weaponry. But if he is injured, he does have an accelerated healing factor, which is more or less effective depending on his current power level. Additionally, he has moderate levels of superhuman speed, reflexes, and agility, along with limitless stamina. To go on, he's also functionally immortal, like I mentioned earlier, with him being completely unable to die by conventional means, although the reason for this remains unknown to him. Outcast is also subject to an uncontrolled teleportation, and this involuntary occasional occurrence is attributed to him being moved by the Spirit of God to where he's most quote-unquote needed. However, it should also be noted that this is a source of frustration for Outcast. Now, I had mentioned that his power levels are variable, so it needs to be addressed that his strength and abilities are tied to the biblical Nazarite vows, with all of his superhuman abilities being negatively impacted if he breaks the Nazarite vows, which include no cutting of his hair, thus the dreads, no consumption of products made from grapes, and no touching of deceased human bodies. He's also noticed over the generations that if he indulges in negative emotions, such as seething anger or vengeance, his strength and abilities will also be weakened. But conversely, purity of heart, mind, and inner peace increases his potential power, the upper limits of which have yet to be measured. Outcast also seems to possess a very unique sensory ability, with him being able to smell what he calls the Nephilim's reek, which to him is a very foul odor or psychic stain of potent supernatural evil. Basically, like a bloodhound, he can smell where potent evil spirits or energy has been, at times even being able to identify what particular spirit has been in an area. Now, all of that being said, Outcast also has 2 more extremely powerful yet rare abilities, which I won't spoil for you. But the first that I'll tease on is his Zenith form, which is very rare and it can only last approximately 1 minute. And I'll go as far as to say that it is triggered by achieving perfect emotional peace, or shalom. But I'll hold back on explaining the rest of this ability and its after effects until later. The last and potentially most powerful ability that Outcast possesses is what he calls Logos Craft. And this is even more rare than his Zenith form. And the only thing I'll reveal about this is that he's only limited to 7 uses of it in his lifetime. Period. That's it. You'll see why eventually. I'd be remiss if I didn't go on to mention his main weapon, if he ever uses one, and it's a sword called Judgment. This is a mysterious weapon that he's possessed for a long time, and up until recently, he didn't know what it was made of. But with the advent of more modern technology, he did have it analyzed. And what we know is that it's an impossibly sharp and durable tungsten carbide blade, which should not have been possible to forge during the time period that he received it. But we'll learn more about this weapon later. All you need to know is that when he does use it, it's only used as a primary weapon against non-human threats, since it can somehow affect spiritual entities, or if it's simply used as a tool. Now, we first see Philip within the city of Aethelburg, Cyprus, somewhere within the 22nd century. Aethelburg is a massive, near-future megalopolis that covers the entire island nation of Cyprus. This city is characterized by verticality, gleaming elite towers, bustling mid-levels of commerce, residential, and tech manufacturing, as well as gritty lower levels, or the Undercity, which is comprised of repurposed structures and off-grid communities. This tends to be where Outcast dwells. Aethelburg is also characterized by ancient Cypriot ruins, which are integrated or buried beneath the modern city. In this region and time period, there's ubiquitous technology. It's not rare to see functional cybernetics, AI city management, advanced surveillance like drones and network tracking, maglev transport, advanced energy sources, advanced bioengineering like the Synth Product Collective, and random pockets of lower tech jammed areas. There also exists significant social stratification. Powerful megacorporations such as Kylon Corp influence politics and resource scarcity at a whim. Now, when it comes to the supernatural, this is generally hidden or dismissed by the public and authorities, with supernatural events often being misinterpreted as advanced tech failures, experimental drugs, fringe attacks, or bizarre accidents. This increases Outcast's isolation and allows certain evil influences to operate more freely. So, if you love gritty heroes with deep lore, dark urban fantasy, and high-octane action, Philip Samson of Outcast is your dude. Be sure to check him out in his very first appearance within the pages of The Relic and the Rage, which itself is the first installment of the first story arc, named Echoes of Giants. You'll see Outcast in monthly releases from this point forward. And for his powers and abilities, and his influence on the Outcast universe, for my 1 to 10 rating, you know I have to give my own dude a rating of 10, which is a legendary rating. But hey, that's to be seen and judged by you. Check out the merchandise shelf under my videos, the end cards, and links within the description to dive into this new series. And with that, I hope everybody enjoyed this introductory video. I'll talk to you next time, and be sure to like and subscribe to The New Sage.